Should we have a timer going?
Yeah.
So we know.
How many minutes is this one?
Oh, should I put it here? I'll put it right here.
Well,
so
we could just... Yeah. Okay.
I'll put a timer up here. Because you need to use your phone for the,
Yeah. La, la, la.
Hi. Okay, so this is going to be 10 minutes.
Yep.
I'll put 5 seconds here, so then we're like... Alright, and starting in 4, 3...
Hi!
Welcome.
Welcome to Short Opinions. I'm Paris.
I'm Tanya.
Where we have short people with big opinions. Okay, so today we're talking about cultural appropriation.
Yeah, so, for all of our videos that we do make, we're going to have a bit of a stimulus, and what we're going to do is we're going to put all of it in the description below. So if you want to check out what we're actually talking about, you can. And
where our inspiration came from to make such a video.
And you can also be part of the conversation by leaving your comments in the...
Yeah, give us your opinion, what you think about it. Because you've got 2 people here, but there's a whole range of different ideas and people out there. So...
Okay, so
should we describe
yeah.
stimulus? Okay, so the other day I was scrolling through Tumblr, as one does, and I found this picture of a little girl dressed up, a little white girl, dressed up Japanese-like, and her mother was throwing a Japanese tea party for her, and she was saying, oh, throw a Japanese tea party for your daughter, it's really fun.
I'll put this picture
and
somewhere.
You've probably seen it on Tumblr if you're on Tumblr. Anyway, and then there was a whole debate in the comments saying this is really wrong, or other people saying this is not wrong, and so we thought that we might flesh that discussion out here.
Yeah, and just talk about it. So
I think that was kind of our idea for the video. In this one, we'll kind of talk about instead of that kind of Japanese, we're going to talk about
cultural appropriation just as a whole.
As a whole, everything. So, even, like, me and Tanya were talking, Tanya's Indian, as you can see, and so we'll talk about how Indian culture is kind of, slowly transcending into, like, Western culture.
Especially things like festivals.
And festivals and bindis and all sorts of things, so we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so, first of all, I guess we should talk about our opinions on it. Personally, my context is my parents have not raised me in a traditional Indian household where I wear saris or I wear bindis or I have a lot of that like culture integrated into my daily life.
It's definitely there.
It's there, but I think that my parents have sort of tried to let me make my own decision. Yeah, so make my own decision and become like a global citizen as it is. So, for me, all of these things, it does not bother me when I see people wearing bindis, and I think especially because there is that element of respect. So, Indian culture, like when you talk about bindis especially, which is what we're going to really delve on, is like the red symbolic dot that people have, and that's to like show that they're married, or the black one is that they're not. And I think that when we talk about cultural appropriation, especially with like the Indian culture, a lot of people are wearing the bedazzled sort of ones that I guess to me were only made for decoration and for beauty purposes. So whenever I go to like a festival,
just like
or something,
an earring or a necklace.
Exactly, like even what you're wearing and even like all of these things, they are from India, but they are here to, appreciate the culture. And, there is not that level of disrespect. And I think that we were discussing ideas before, and we were talking about it becomes an issue when there is an integrated issue or problem between the two cultures. So like cowboys and Indians, so we'll talk about that a bit more. But, and like Native Americans. And then it also becomes an issue when you're sort of being ignorant to like the whole idea behind it. So going back to the India thing, because there is that level of appreciation of like the beauty and everything of that, and there's no disrespect coming from it, I think it's fine.
Yeah, like I'm the same, so I mean I can't really have too much of a say on this because I'm not Indian, but if I had to, it would be I think it's just about your intentions. If you're doing it to mock or shame or make fun of, then that's obviously not okay. But if you're just seeing something and thinking it's amazing and just appreciating that and doing it too because you think it's awesome, then I think that it's okay because you're... I don't know, it's kind of like if your friend kind of copies you or something and it's not, you could take offense because you're like, that's my thing, or you could say, you think that's cool about me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So when we like look back at that stimulus and we're talking about it, there's like a lot of comments in the section below, and one of them in particular was, I guess it wasn't negative, but she was definitely expressing her opinion.
I mean, I think she had good intentions with it, but she just didn't realize it.
Yeah. So she was just sort of like talking about how that culture has sort of worked so hard to be where they are, and you just simply putting it on is mocking them, and it's sort of degrading everything that is about that culture, the Japanese culture. And for me, I think that, it always comes back to that level of respect and that level of understanding that you have towards that particular group. So,
and if you're doing it correct, I think as well. So if you're going to do something, get educated. If you're going to throw a party with a certain theme, get educated. Don't be like, don't rock up in something that's completely ridiculously wrong.
Yeah.
And look, if you're gonna throw a themed party with a culture, try not to go,
yeah,
I'm a slutty Indian, you know what I'm saying? Because that might be disrespectful to someone.
Yeah. I think because we're also a global community, and through globalization, that it's sort of hard not to be surrounded by culture, and it's very, very beautiful. But, you have to take that into consideration, and you always have to reflect on what are my intentions, what am I actually portraying by wearing this. So, we were talking about this earlier, about, like, the cowboys and Indians. So, Paris, she went to a party, and she sort of, like, had this moral reflection where she was saying, is, me dressing up as an Indian, is that culturally appropriating, that civilization? And then, we were saying how, with that, it's, even though you are being respectful, that whole notion of cowboys versus Indians, where there is discrimination, where there is segregation, and where there is almost like this caste where one is supposed to be above each other, the verses, it really shows that. I think that because America has not addressed these issues properly, and they have not really looked at the underlying sort of like thing behind it, that it sort of is disrespectful. Like, if we talk about Australia, and you have like maybe like the First Fleet versus, Aboriginal Atsi people who were here. It's obviously not respectful because we have not addressed the issue, which is, xenophobia. It is this just discrimination and racism. And I think that that's when it becomes an issue, when you're sort of comparing two cultures.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, in the comments that we were looking at before for the Tumblr post, there was this woman, she was saying that she was from Japan, and that she didn't find that photo disrespectful.
She said, you can tell that there's research in this, they totally put care into this, and there's completely good intentions in this. And she said, our world is ever growing with different cultures, and our own cultures are growing from other cultures, and we're all meshing off each other. And so she was saying, if we didn't have that, I wouldn't be having this tea, or I wouldn't be wearing my jeans, or I wouldn't be doing this if we weren't sharing and expressing different cultures. As long as we're just being respectful and have good intentions with it, then I don't think there's too much of an issue. But we're running out of time, so I would love to know your point of view, what you have to say about such a thing, because I know that some people would totally disagree and be like, no, you should stay away from a culture. Don't do anything about it because you have yours, I have mine, and some people are just very...
Yeah, and we'd love to have, like, this intellectual conversation in the comments below. So, leave your viewpoints, leave your stands.
Leave your big opinions, but even if you're short.
Be respectful. That's the only thing that we ask. Please don't, like, be respectful of other people's opinions, and just take into consideration that everyone is different and they have different experiences, so...
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, also, we're going to try and keep all of these videos 10 minutes or less, just so if you need something for, like, an assignment or something, you don't have to watch an hour's
Plus,
video.
like, I know I've watched videos that are, like, 15 minutes, and I'm like, even though it's only 5 minutes more, but I've just been like, I don't think this is ever going to win.
Yeah, so... let us know if you have different pieces of, like, stimuli you want us to sort of, like, look at for, like, later videos.
Or if you have questions, like, I'm feeling weird about this, is this not very wrong? Like, when someone was like, oh, let's dress up as Indians, it was like American Indian, I was like,
but,
is
like,
this wrong?
Take into consideration, we're not, like, the be-all and end-all.
No.
We're just two people sitting on a bed talking about their opinions. So... if you want to know our opinions, go ahead and leave it in below, but, yeah. So, anything else?
I think that's it. Thank you for watching technically our first video.
And see you later. Smell you. What? How should we end it?
Stay short.
Brock says bye.
Maybe this is like
Stay
short, but keep having those opinions.
Stay. We'll think about it.
We'll think about it.
This is like, we're still in the development stage, but we're like thinking who we are. We're trying to find ourselves. But apart from that,
thanks for watching.
bye!